My name is Sophie. I am 31 years old. 6 years ago, I married a millionaire. I did not love him. I loved his money. I thought money could buy happiness. I thought security was more important than love. I was wrong. This is not a story about a cheating husband or a terrible man. This is a story about a choice I made. A choice that cost me 6 years of my life. This is my story. I grew up poor. My father worked 2 jobs. My mother cleaned houses. We lived in a small apartment. I wore hand-me-down clothes. My friends had new phones and nice shoes. I had nothing. Every day I told myself, when I grow up, I will never be poor again. I will have money. I will have security. That promise became my obsession. When I was 25, I met Richard at a charity event. I was working as a waitress there. He was 42 years old, tall, handsome, successful businessman. He owned several companies. He drove a luxury car. He lived in a mansion. When he asked for my number, I could not believe it. He called me the next day. He took me to expensive restaurants. He bought me gifts, designer bags, jewelry, things I had only seen in magazines. My best friend, Maria, looked worried. "Sophie, do you love him?" she asked. I hesitated. "He is kind to me. He treats me well." "But do you love him?" Maria repeated. I did not answer, because I knew the truth. I did not love Richard. I loved what he represented: security, wealth, escape from poverty. Maria shook her head. "Money cannot buy happiness, Sophie. You will regret this." I laughed. "Easy for you to say. You never went to bed hungry. You do not understand." After 6 months, Richard proposed at a five-star restaurant. He opened a box with a diamond ring so big it looked fake. "Sophie, will you marry me?" Everyone was watching. I looked at the ring. I thought about my parents' tiny apartment. I thought about never struggling again. "Yes," I said. "Yes, I will marry you." The restaurant erupted in applause. Richard smiled, but I felt nothing. No joy, no excitement, just relief. The wedding was beautiful, expensive, a huge white dress, a ballroom filled with flowers, 200 guests. Most were Richard's business associates, people I did not know. My parents sat in the corner looking uncomfortable. Maria came to the wedding. "Are you sure about this?" she whispered. "It is too late now," I said. "No, Sophie, it is not too late. You can still walk away." I pulled away from her. "You are just jealous," I said. Maria's face fell. She did not say anything else. The honeymoon was in Paris, luxury hotel, finest restaurants, but something felt wrong. At dinner, Richard talked about business deals. I tried to share my thoughts about the art we saw. He nodded politely but changed the subject back to work. At night, we slept in the same bed but felt miles apart. He kissed me goodnight like a routine, like checking a box. I lay awake staring at the ceiling. I felt so alone. But I pushed those feelings down. We will grow to love each other, I told myself. We just need time. When we returned home, I moved into Richard's mansion. 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a swimming pool, huge garden. Richard gave me a credit card. "Buy whatever you want. Decorate the house. Get your hair done. Whatever makes you happy." And he left for work. 7 in the morning, home at 9 or 10 at night, sometimes later. I was alone in this massive house all day, every day. I tried to fill my time. Shopping, designer clothes I didn't need, hair salon twice a week, expensive gym with other rich wives who talked about vacations and promotions. They smiled at me, but I was just Richard's young wife, the pretty trophy. Every conversation felt fake, shallow. At home, I ate dinner alone most nights. I set the table for two. I waited. Sometimes Richard came home. He sat across from me, scrolling through his phone. "How was your day?" I would ask. "Busy, lots of meetings." "How was yours?" "Fine. I went to the gym." "That's nice," he would say, without looking up. Then silence. I called Maria one night. I hadn't spoken to her since the wedding. The phone rang and rang. Then I heard her voice. "Hello? Maria, it's me, Sophie." There was a pause. "Hi, Sophie." "I'm sorry, Maria. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that." "Are you happy, Sophie?" she asked quietly. I opened my mouth to say yes, but the word would not come out. "I have everything I ever wanted," I finally said. "But you are not happy." "No," I whispered. "I am not happy." Maria sighed. "You can still leave, Sophie." "Leave? I have a beautiful home, money, security." "But you do not have love. You do not have happiness. What good is money if you are miserable?" Our first anniversary arrived. Richard came home early. He handed me a small box. "Happy anniversary." Inside was a diamond necklace. "It's beautiful," I said. "I'm glad you like it. I had my assistant pick it out." "Your assistant?" I asked. "Yes, I told her to get you something nice. He didn't even choose it himself." We went to dinner. Richard talked about business. I nodded and smiled, but inside I felt nothing. This necklace cost thousands of dollars, but he couldn't even remember what I liked. He didn't know me at all. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror. Designer dress, expensive jewelry, perfect hair and makeup. But I did not recognize the woman staring back. Where was the girl who loved painting, who stayed up late reading books, who laughed until her stomach hurt? She was gone. I had sold her for security, and I did not even get happiness in return. 2 years into our marriage, I got sick. Fever, body aches, could barely get out of bed. The housekeeper called Richard. "Ma'am is very ill. She needs a doctor." "I will send the car service," Richard said. "You are not coming home?" "I have important meetings. Just make sure she gets to the doctor." I lay in bed listening. He could not even come home when I was sick. The driver took me to the doctor. I sat alone in the waiting room. Examination alone, prescription alone. Richard came home at midnight. "How are you feeling?" "Better," I lied. "Good," he said, and he went to his study. I cried that night. I had never felt so alone. 3 years into our marriage, my mother got sick. Cancer. "I need to go home," I told Richard. "My mother needs me." "How long will you be gone?" "I do not know. A few weeks, maybe longer." Richard frowned. "I have the charity gala next month. I need you there. It is important for my image." "Your image? My mother is dying." He sighed. "Fine, go, but be back before the gala." This was the moment I truly saw him. A man who valued appearances over people, business over family. I went home. I slept on the old couch. I held my mother's hand during chemotherapy, and I was happier in that tiny apartment than in the mansion, because I was needed there, I was loved there, I was real there. My mother survived. When I returned after 5 weeks, Richard barely noticed. "Welcome home. The gala is Saturday. I bought you a new dress. Make sure you wear the sapphire jewelry." That was it. No, "How is your mother?" No, "I missed you." Just instructions. I stood in front of my closet full of expensive clothes, hundreds of dresses worn once, shoes that cost more than my mother's medical bills, all of it meaningless, all of it empty. I started thinking about divorce, but fear stopped me. What would I do? Where would I go? I had no job, no career, 5 years being a trophy wife. Richard had a prenuptial agreement. If we divorced, I would leave with nothing. I was trapped in a gilded cage of my own making. Then I saw Maria shopping. She was with a man. Not handsome, not rich, simple clothes, kind eyes. They were laughing together, really laughing. He said something and Maria threw her head back in joy. They held hands like teenagers. The love between them was so obvious, so real. I felt something break inside me. That could have been me. I could have had that, but I chose money instead. Maria saw me. "Sophie, this is James, my fiancé. You are getting married?" "Yes, next month. Nothing big, just family and close friends." "You look beautiful, Sophie, but are you happy?" That question again. "No, I am not happy. I haven't been happy in 6 years." "Oh, Sophie, I'm so sorry." "I made a terrible mistake, Maria. I married for all the wrong reasons, and now I'm trapped." "You are not trapped," James said. "You can always walk away." "With nothing? You will have yourself. You will have your freedom. You will have a chance at real happiness. Isn't that worth more than money?" That night, I made a decision. I couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't live this empty, lonely, meaningless life. I didn't care about the money anymore. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be myself again. I wanted a chance at real love, even if it meant starting over with nothing. The next morning, I went to Richard's study. "We need to talk." "What is it?" "I want a divorce." He stopped typing. He looked at me. "You want a divorce?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because we don't love each other. We never did. This marriage is a lie." Richard leaned back. "I have given you everything. A beautiful home, money, security. And I'm grateful, but those things are not enough. I need more than money. I need love. I need connection. I need to feel alive. If you divorce me, you get nothing. The prenup is clear." "I know." "And you're okay with that?" "Yes." "You would rather have nothing than stay here?" "I would rather have nothing than lose myself completely." Richard nodded slowly. "Okay, if that's what you want, I will have my lawyer draw up the papers." That was it. No fight, no argument, because he didn't love me either. This marriage was just a transaction, a beautiful wife to complete his image. 2 months later, the divorce was final. I moved out with 2 suitcases. Everything else stayed behind. The jewelry, the designer bags, the expensive dresses. I moved back to my parents' apartment. My mother made up the couch for me. "I'm sorry you have to sleep here." I hugged her. "Don't be sorry, Mom. I'm happy to be home." And I meant it. That night I slept on that old couch. I could hear the neighbors through the thin walls, but I didn't mind because I was free. The first year was hard. I got a job at a small marketing firm, tiny salary. I took the bus to work. I shopped at discount stores. I cooked my own meals. I lived simply. But I was happy, really happy, for the first time in 6 years. I reconnected with Maria. I apologized for everything. She forgave me. "We are sisters," she said. "Sisters forgive." I went to her small wedding in a park, maybe 30 people, but it was full of love, real love. 1 year after my divorce, I met David. He is a teacher. He does not have a lot of money. He drives an old car, small apartment, but he makes me laugh. He listens when I talk. He remembers my favorite things. He brings me flowers from the grocery store. When I am with David, I feel seen. I feel valued. I feel loved. Not for what I look like, but for who I am. Today, 3 years after my divorce, I live in a small apartment. I work a normal job. I take the bus. I do not have designer clothes or expensive jewelry. I do not have a mansion, but I have something better. I have love. I have real friends. I have myself back. I am not rich, but I am happy. Money cannot buy happiness. Security cannot replace love. A beautiful cage is still a cage. I wasted 6 years chasing money instead of love. I married a man I did not love because I was afraid of being poor. But poverty of the heart is worse than poverty of the wallet. I had everything money could buy, but I had nothing that mattered. If I could go back, I would tell my 25-year-old self, do not do it. Being poor is hard, but being rich and miserable is harder. Choose love. Choose happiness. Choose yourself. Money comes and goes, but time you can never get back. Thank you for listening to this story. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Story Reading in English channel. Your support helps more stories reach people like you. With every story, our English gets better and our hearts get stronger.